Hello, my friends. D.L. Anderson here. Welcome back to Transformation by Truth podcast as we share the truth concerning these last days and what you must do to save yourself from the violent times that are just ahead. Today's podcast is a word of truth accounting of the end times. The end is coming. The end is near. Today's podcast is entitled End Times 302, An Intro to Lawlessness, Part 2. What spiritual seed has been sown in your soul? The podcast objectives are: review the parable of the darnel of the field, reveal the father of all those doing lawlessness, and analyze the future of all those doing lawlessness. This lesson contains timelines and other visuals. Therefore, if you are listening to the podcast, I advise you to watch the video version on our website or YouTube, or request a PDF of the lesson so you can add the visual effect. The parable of the darnel of the field. Shalom, my beloved brothers and sisters, and welcome to day 3 of our exposition of lawlessness. In today's podcast, we will revisit a familiar passage of scripture, one of the more prominent end times passages, and a personal favorite of mine. Enter the parable of the darnel of the field, aka the wheat and the tares. If you recall, we analyzed this parable in a more recent podcast entitled End Times 142, the wheat and the tares. This podcast, which was posted on May 1st, 2023, marked the beginning of a 4-part series dedicated to analyzing the scriptural model of the harvest while disproving the rapture theory. Now, if you have the time, I encourage you to review those podcasts, especially if you were unable to do so before. Truly, your appreciation of the harvest will only strengthen your understanding and resolve concerning the matters of lawlessness and the seal of Elohim. Moreover, I encourage you to bookmark Matthew 13, 24 through 43, as this is the scriptural accounting of the parable of the darnel of the field. And seeing as it is so vital to this topic, we will consider it at this time. Matthew 13, 24 through 43 is revealing the reign of the heavens has become like a man who sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed darnel, i.e., tares, among the wheat and went away. And when the blade sprouted and bore fruit, then the darnel also appeared. And the servants of the master of the house came and said to him, Master, did you not sow good seed in your field? From where then does it have the darnel? And he said to them, A man, an enemy, did this. And the servant said to him, Do you wish then that we go and gather them up? But he said, No, lest while you gather up the darnel, you also uproot the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. And at the time of harvest, I shall say to the reapers, First gather the darnel and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my granary. Then, having sent the crowds away, Yahushua went into the house, and his taught ones came to him, saying, Explain to us the parable of the darnel of the field. And he answering said to them, he who is sowing the good seed is the son of Adam, and the field is the world. And the good seed, these are the sons of the rain, but the darnel are the sons of the wicked one. And the enemy who sowed them is the devil, and the harvest is the end of the age, and the reapers are the messengers. As the darnel then is gathered and burned in the fire, so it shall be at the end of this age. The son of Adam shall send out his messengers, and they shall gather out of his reign all the stumbling blocks and those doing lawlessness, and shall throw them into the furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Then the righteous shall shine forth as the sun in the reign of their Father. He who has ears to hear, let him hear. The enemy who sowed them. Now, there are many revelations and key takeaways from this parable. In this podcast, I want to focus on the nature and the future of the darnel. I will begin with their nature. Along these lines, we find there is one primary characteristic of the darnel. It is such a crucial matter concerning their nature that I will offer it as an inflection point. This is one I advise you to bookmark and never forget. The darnel are offspring of the wicked one, for they have been sown by the devil. Think about that for a moment. Yahushua Messiah is telling his disciples, past and present, that all those who are doing lawlessness are children of the wicked one, for he is revealing the enemy who sowed them is the devil. Now, this truth begs the question, what does it mean to be sown by the devil? The answer, I had to turn to the ABP and various concordances to find the answer, which I will, at this time, offer as a revelation. When Yahushua reveals the darnel is sowed by the devil, he is revealing that the devil, in line with his counterfeit nature, is copying Yahushua Messiah. To wit, he has also obtained children, i.e., followers, by implanting his spirit within them. Not only this, but in line with the precepts of sowing, he, like Yahushua Messiah, will receive a harvest of the spiritual seeds he has planted. Now, the question of the hour is, how has the devil obtained children? To wit, what spiritual seed has he implanted in the darnel? The answer is sure. The spiritual seed the devil has implanted within the darnel is quite simply lawlessness. This, my friends, is the nature of the darnel. It is also the easiest way to determine the spiritual wheat from the spiritual tares. Vis-a-vis, all who are doing lawlessness are offspring of the wicked one. They are the spiritual tares within the field of the world. As I have said before, it doesn't matter what they say or how they dress or how celebrated they are within the decadent sphere of men. The devil has sown these impostors, and he will receive them at the end of this age. And if you believe anything, you best believe that. The future of the lawless ones. Now, the nature of the darnel lends itself to their future. Vis-a-vis, they will inherit the same fate as the devil who has sown them. My dear friends, they will all fall into endless death. Their future is the lake of fire. Trust me, this is not my word. These are the words of Yahushua Messiah. For look, listen, it has been written, the son of Adam shall send out his messengers, and they shall gather out of his reign all the stumbling blocks and those doing lawlessness, and shall throw them into the furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Alas, this is the future of the darnel. This is the fate of all those doing lawlessness. Now, here again, we've already touched on these matters in prior podcasts. To wit, we have analyzed the nature of the reign of Yahushua Messiah and the millennial kingdom. And we have proven that this kingdom will be depicted by 1,000 years of peace on earth and goodwill for the remnant of man. And this, my friends, is why all those doing lawlessness will not be chosen to participate in this reign. Quite simply, it's because they are unqualified. Not only this, but when they were given the opportunity to qualify themselves, they chose lawlessness over holiness. Unlike those who are following this ministry, these spiritual tares heard the watchmen and the messengers Yahuwah has raised up in this season, who have made it very clear you cannot operate in lawlessness and obtain the seal of Elohim. It's a classic non-starter. But alas, they didn't believe us. They did not fear. And this is why they are not here. And the time of their departure draws near. For the same way, the son of Adam is preparing for his harvest, the wicked one is preparing himself as well, for he will also have a harvest. For lo, he knows Yahushua is soon to send his messengers to remove all the stumbling blocks and those doing lawlessness out of the earth. And he is ready and waiting to catch them. He is very eager to receive his offspring, the sordid seed he has sown. In this regard, there will be a rapture, just not the kind of rapture many are expecting. Yes, they are leaving the earth, but they will not enter the kingdom of heaven. For the seeds of lawlessness can never yield wheat. They can only yield sin. They can only yield leaven. Now, here is the final word. He will provide our every need, for lo, we are his spiritual seed. This is a matter you must appreciate and take comfort in as you labor to eliminate every degree of lawlessness from your life. Trust me, this is not something you can do on your own. And Yahuwah is not asking you to. By his spirit, he will be with you every step of the way. And thus, upon this people, this prayer I pray. O thou, to whose all-searching sight the darkness shineth as the light. O Elohim, prove our hearts, for we long for thee. Save us from all lawlessness and set thy people free. Now, here is today's assignment. Meditate on the word you have heard today. And as always, ask the Father to reveal the truth to you. For the children of Elohim live by conviction, and if he has not convicted you, or if you had not heard him concerning these matters, you should pray until you do. Today, I want you to focus on the future of the lawless ones. Specifically, I want you to meditate on how we are all one false step from allowing the wicked one to sow seeds of lawlessness within our hearts. Therefore, I want you to add a segment in your prayer sessions in which you ask the Father to examine your heart and to show you if there are any seeds of lawlessness you must remove before they take root. Else, they will take root. Brothers and sisters, you must not let them take root. If there ever was a time you must be sold on prevention, that time is now. And concerning the times, you have no need for me to remind you, for you already know. We are running out of time. Now, here is what's next. We completed today's podcast, End Times 302, an intro to lawlessness, part 2. And the next podcast is entitled End Times 303, an intro to lawlessness, part 3. I will post this podcast on Friday, July 5th, 2024. Until then, my friends, continue to be led by the Spirit of Elohim. Continue to watch, continue to pray, continue in fasting, and most of all, continue to be focused, for the end is coming. The end is near.